My name is Bahman, and my presentation today is about the history of Buddhism in Thailand and Myanmar. My main objectives here are to define the history of Buddhism in Thailand and Myanmar, to discover the pillars of Buddhism in these two countries, and to compare the practice of Buddhism in Thailand and Myanmar. Let's start. Where is the birthplace of Buddhism? The birthplace of Buddhism is in the sacred area of Lumbini that is located in the southern Nepal. Buddha, commonly known as the Lord Buddha, was born in the famous gardens of Lumbini, which soon became a place of pilgrimage. Buddha was born into an aristocratic family in the Shakya clan in ancient India in the 6th century BC. Buddhism founded by Prince Siddhartha, who eventually achieved the ultimate goal of enlightenment. After 49 days of meditating, under a Bodhi tree, he became Buddha. The Indian Emperor Ashoka built one of his commemorative pillars in Lumbini. The site is now being developed as Buddhist pilgrimage center. What are the different schools of Buddhism? There are 4 schools of Buddhism, commonly known as Mahayana, Theravada, Vajrayana, and Zen. Mahayana means the great vehicle. Mahayana Buddhists believe faith is enough to earn all believers eventual salvation, and they recognize many Buddhas. Anyone can achieve Buddhahood with the help of Bodhisattva. Theravada means the doctrine of the elders or senior Buddhist monks. They believe that one must work out one's own salvation with diligence, and they only recognize one Buddha. Only monks who pursue the path of enlightenment are rewarded with Buddhahood. The monastic community of monks and nuns are known as Sangha. What school of Buddhism is practiced in Thailand? Thailand has the second largest Buddhist population in the world after China, with approximately 64 million Buddhists. Buddhism in Thailand is largely of the Theravada school, which is followed by 95% of the population. Buddhism in Thailand has been characterized as a revolutionary force, since rationalist Buddhist teachings offer considerable support for progressive and democratic political ideas. The reality is that Thai Buddhism has been captured by the state and its underlying radicalism neutralized. The related relationship between the state and Sangha, or monastic community of monks, has effectively limited Buddhism to the role of legitimating state power, and the universalistic teachings of Buddhism have been subordinated to nationalist ideology. What school of Buddhism is practiced in Myanmar? Buddhism in Myanmar is largely of the Theravada school, which is followed by 90% of the population. This branch of Buddhism follows most closely to the oldest text in Buddhist tradition and emphasizes a more rigorous observance of the monastic code than other schools of Buddhism. The other form of Buddhism in Myanmar is Mahayana. Burmese Buddhism was dominated by a varied Buddhism called Arya Buddhism, which included Mahayana and Vajrayana elements and influences from Brahmanism in the 11th century. Buddhism has been the state religion of Myanmar, beginning with the Kingdom of Pakan in 1044, and was briefly reinstated as the state religion under Prime Minister Uno in 1961 until the military coup in 1962. Who is the head of Buddhism in Thailand and Myanmar? The Supreme Patriarch of Thailand, or Sangharaja, is the head of the order of Buddhist monks in Thailand. Ashin Viratu, a radical Buddhist monk, is the head of Buddhism in Myanmar. Myanmar is the most religious Buddhist country in terms of the proportion of monks in the population and proportion of income spent on religion. What are Buddhism core values in Thailand and Myanmar? The scripts of Judaism, Hinduism, and Islam condone, justify, and even sometimes encourage the use of violence. In Buddhist texts, it's just the opposite. Chapter 10 of the Dhammapada, an anthology of verses attributed to the Buddha, reads, "All tremble before violence, all fear death. Having done the same yourself, you should neither harm nor kill." How important is Buddhism to the people of Thailand? Buddhism is a key component to the identities of Thais. There are about 30,000 Buddhist temples in Thailand. Many Thais will start their day by giving offerings to monks who are collecting donations in the streets. By making and gaining merit, many Thais believe they will live longer and happier life. Some people will also wear Buddhist amulets in order to protect themselves. Every man in Thailand is required to become a monk for a period of time before the age of 20. Some will stay as little as a day or two. The majority of monks remain for at least a few weeks. Young men do this in order to receive good karma and merit. Also, religious instructions is required in public schools at both the primary and secondary education levels. Buddhism is a compassionate and tolerant religion. Consequently, Thai people are very respectful of the religious beliefs of others and are very open towards discussing their Buddhist values with visitors. Section 73 of the Thai Constitution indicates that the state shall patronize and protect Buddhism and other religions, promote harmony among the followers of all religions, and encourage the application of religious principles to create virtue and develop the quality of life. How important is Buddhism to the people of Myanmar? With Buddhism closely affiliated with Burmese identity, nationalism took on specific Buddhist associations. Buddhism affects every aspect of Burmese life and has more of a hold on Myanmar than any nation in the world. Burma is filled with temples, monasteries, and monks. Burmese Buddhists rallied on slogans such as "To be Burmese is to be Buddhist." Buddhism is known to ordinary Burmese as Buddha Bata or the Way of Buddha. Buddhist monks who opposed colonialism became powerful symbols for the nationalist movement. Thousands of monks have engaged in political activism over the past century, most recently in the 2007 Saffron Revolution. Thousands of monks have participated in anti-Muslim demonstrations, increasing interreligious tensions in the region. There is no doubt that much of the Buddhist religious leadership of Myanmar has promoted violence against Muslims in the region. The 969 movement, a complex Buddhist nationalist movement, has promoted a Buy Buddhist campaign, encouraging citizens to buy goods only from the Buddhists, to target the economic well-being of religious minorities, especially Muslims. Stores are marked with the 969 symbol to verify the owner is Buddhist. Monks have also mobilized to support the passage of anti-Muslim laws in the nation's legislature. Today, Myanmar is the center of one of the largest refugee crises in the world. Members of the majority Buddhists have forcibly displaced many of the Rohingya, a Muslim minority group mainly centered in the southwest of the country. The ethnic and religious violence in Myanmar is incredibly complex. While many monks in Myanmar seem to support and even advocate for violence against their Muslim neighbors, but there are others who are constantly working to end the violence. Both believe their actions to be deeply inspired by Buddhism, and both use theology to justify their claims. The effect of Buddhism in Thailand society. Buddhism and the Thai monarchy have often been intervened. Historically, Thai kings are viewed as the main supporters of Buddhism in Thailand. Although Thailand is a constitutional monarchy, but it inherited a strong Southeast Asian tradition of Buddhist kingship that tied the legitimacy of the state to its protection and support for Buddhist institutions. Since the 1950s, there has been an increased interest in the practice of Buddhist meditation throughout Thailand, and this is one of the biggest changes in Theravada Buddhist practice since the Second World War. Buddhist monks have received a number of special rights in Thailand. They are granted free passage on public transportation, and most train stations and airports have special sitting sections reserved for members of the clergy. Conversely, monks are forbidden from standing for office or voting in elections. State control over Buddhism increased further after the 2014 coup d'etat. The junta's new constitution is stating that the Thai government is responsible to support Theravada Buddhism. The effect of Buddhism in Myanmar society. Myanmar is ethnically diverse. Its government officially recognizes 135 ethnic groups. The majority of the population in Myanmar lives in the countryside as farmers, and their daily lives are infused at all levels by Buddhist beliefs of both the superstitious kind and the purest texts. The roots of Buddhist nationalism go back to the country's colonial past. During that time, the British promoted migrant labor to increase rice cultivation. In the 1930s, violence erupted between Burmese and people of Indian descent. Muslims in particular were cast as a threat to the local way of life. The recent events in Myanmar, particularly the Saffron Revolution in 2007, placed Myanmar monks in the focus of the international community. The Saffron Revolution was put down by the military regime and did not succeed, but experts believe it have helped usher in the era of democratization, which began in 2011. The most prominent of the nationalist groups was the Association for the Protection of Race and Religion, commonly referred to by its Burmese language acronym MABATA. A clear sign that the military seeks the support of Buddhist nationalists is that among the many civil society actors arrested are 3 Buddhist monks who have been outspoken critics of both the military and the extreme Buddhist nationalist groups. Also, Myanmar's junta released Ashin Virato, a controversial Buddhist monk, from prison. He previously led the Mabata Buddhist nationalist organization. His sermons have been blamed for inciting anti-Muslim violence over the last decade. While Buddhism is rarely associated with extremism or violence, but Ashin Virato supports the use of force against other religions and cultures and also supports authoritarian regimes. In 2017, during the violent military crackdown on the Rohingya, there was significant support for their actions among Myanmar's Buddhists.
Locals destroy a mosque, their anger fueled by the rapid growth of Buddhist nationalism in Burma. And on the side of the road, a man is left to die because he is a Muslim. The next morning, on March 21st, a Muslim area called Mingala Seyon is attacked. And once again, the police fail to intervene. From a hilltop, we see a young man, presumably Muslim, attacked by men wielding sticks.
The Burmese government and security forces are responsible for attacks on Rohingya in which crimes against humanity were committed.
This comparative discussion has highlighted the effect of the state on the expression of Theravada Buddhism in otherwise similar populations. In Myanmar, it turned into violent radicalism, while in Thailand, it turned into a peaceful harmony. I hope my presentation today helped you to better understand the effect of Buddhism in Thailand and Myanmar society. Thank you.